Before you get pissed, let me just say I am so hyped for Lords of the Fallen. I really want to play the game. I'm excited as but a lot of streamers, a lot of content creators found some issues in the game, and I want to discuss those issues with you. First of all, I know, you there, you're gonna think like this. Oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about. They are worried. They are thinking about the patches. They will patch the game before launch. I know that is a probability. I know. Please, don't get pissed. Don't get angry. Everything is beautifully fine. Disclaimer, some information might be released by the time you're watching this video. So, we cannot know everything, right? So if you know that information, comment here below and I will gladly read it. That being said, let us begin our video. First of all, small creators and new content creators, they don't have early accesses to anything. They're literally shit. We don't have first-hand information. We really don't have first-hand information. So what did I do? I saw and watched a lot of videos. And in those videos, I found some authorities in the gaming industry talking about Souls-like games, specifically Lords of the Fallen. And I watched it again and again and again. And I saw some specific points that I want to share with you about Lords of the Fallen. Some issues, okay? There's this content creator that I really love, which is P-War Gaming. And what he mentioned is Parry's in Lords of the Fallen, they feel and they sound weird. It's not that wholesome feeling that you get a parry in Dark Souls 1 or 2 or 3, the pang. Dark Souls 1, not that much, but in Dark Souls 3, oh my god, it's so delicious. What about the parries in Sekiro, right? Sekiro, I don't know what is the best pronunciation. It is completely amazing. Some people mention that parries, they do not feel as good as the other Soulsborne Souls-like games. So even though they work like Sekiro and Lies of P, that you can parry without a shield, right? You can see that. The other thing that P-War mentioned was, let me give you a specific comparison, okay? Have you ever played Demon's Souls Remake and then you had to do a boss run, never-ending run to the boss, and you saw all those mobs, all those enemies, and you got tired and a little bit depressed? Even if you are in Umbral or even if you are in Axiom, you have a lot of enemies, and that sometimes can be tiresome, right? Because you need to, maybe you need to cover more of the map, you need to do boss runs and etc. That is a little annoying. Let us move on to Legacy Gaming. Legacy Gaming is a channel that I really love. When they did the cover for Remnant 2, I loved it, and it's a channel that I really follow. They said that attacks, they feel rigid. It's not the same fluid experience as a Dark Souls or Elden Ring or whatever Soulsborne game. When you are attacking, those animations, they cannot be cancelled. That you were playing against a boss or against a group of enemies, and then you are hitting like crazy and you want to dodge or you want to roll out of that mob density, and sometimes you cannot do that. So that is a little bit annoying, right? The other thing is that after a series of attack, they said that it takes too much time to recover from a series of attack. I don't know if it is regarding the stamina, but they mentioned that it's a little bit difficult to recover. There are a lot of bugs, and the main thing is that some enemies, they don't have that enemy responsiveness, that for example you attack the enemy and then the enemy doesn't move, or it doesn't seem like that the posture of the enemy is being broken, or I don't know, that there isn't that interaction, that combat interaction that we see. And in the video that they posted, they said a lot that sometimes the game feels like a hit and run experience, that you hit and you run and you hit and you run and you dodge. Sometimes you can parry as well. Mainly you need to dodge attacks more often. The enemy keeps hitting and you need to time the enemy attack and then run and hit and run. Sometimes might be a little annoying. Other things that the menu, the game menu, lacks a lot of information. I really don't care, but some people, they do enjoy having a HUD that gives you a lot of information for you to read and understand how the items impact on your build. You can find that in other sources of information. I don't care, but apparently some people do care, and that is a big fact, okay? Other point that Legacy Gaming mentioned is the sound design. Sometimes there is a lack of isolated sounds. Basically there's attack happening in a good distance from you, and then it feels like you're listening that really close to you. So you don't have that those isolated and those carefully put sounds. I don't care that much as well. For me specifically, Souls-like games, Soulsborne games and Souls games, I like the story, I like the elements of the story, which are more visual, by the way. But for me, what stands out is the combat. The combat is king. Hawkshaw, which is another YouTuber, I really enjoy his videos. So what he said was, when you are locked on the enemy, Sometimes you lunge or you have a charged attack, and when you do that, it covers a really long distance, and sometimes you get unlocked, you get lost. The two most urgent and important, critical, if I may say so, things that basically everyone said, I mean, you can find a lot of reviews there, is running, dodging, and jumping. When you roll, specifically, you cover a huge distance, basically like 2.5 meters or more, if I can, I know, approximate that for you. Remember, you have two types of rolling and dodges here. The one that you are not locked on the enemy, that you roll, it's a huge distance, and when you do get locked in the enemy, you do like a really similar version of a dodge to Lies of P, you know? That is like those little jumps side to side. If I play any Dark Souls or Elden Ring or Soulsborne, I do enjoy performing some rolls and some dodgings without locking on the enemy. Even if you have, like, for example, huge bosses, that is really common in Souls-like games. It is not fluid enough. Sometimes it like breaks the cadency that you have while fighting against mobs or enemies or bosses, and people are complaining about that a lot. They are really hoping that the devs do indeed fix this before the actual launch. Covering the other aspect, when you are running, you run extremely fast. It doesn't feel how can I say, realistic, you know? It is super fast. I mean, I know I watched a lot of dev interviews, and they said that it will be a fast-paced game, but when you have a style of running that feels non-realistic, it kind of bothers me a little, you know? I mean, like I said, I really want to play this game. I think they did a lot of good things. If you want to know good things, there are many people in YouTube that did those reviews. They love the game. I love the game as well. But these are things that we must talk and we must share, because there's these things, they can get in your way. And there are a lot of times in Lords of the Fallen that you need to jump as well. And when you jump, when you land on the ground, you do perform a roll. So that roll covers a lot of ground as well, and that is annoying a lot of people. And I think that is one of the most important things, is that the PC version is not fully optimized, so we see a lot of stuttering, FPS drops, and actually there was, I think it was P-War Gaming, that he said that one of the most fluid gameplays is the one that Ruben posted on PS5. So actually, I bought a PS5 to play Lords of the Fallen, you know? I bought a PS5. I mean, I'm in Brazil, you know, so things here are expensive as fuck, you know? And so for you to do that, it costs a lot. So I bought a PS5 exclusively to play Lords of the Fallen. So actually, I'm really worried that it is not going to be a good game, but I am having so much fun playing Demon's Souls Remake that if Lords of the Fallen disappoints a lot of people, I won't even care, to be honest. But I really would like that it didn't, because it's one of the games that I'm most excited throughout the entire 2023, you know. And I really hope that the devs, they do take all of those gameplays into consideration and make the game better with an upcoming patch. There's one extremely important point that we must talk about. This game is something new. The mechanics that we are seeing here are different from a Souls or a Soulsborne game, okay? It's a mix of all those characters. So one thing that we do need to take into consideration is that everything that is new sometimes is misunderstood. If it is indeed a new way of understanding Souls-like games, or a new approach, a new proposition, a new way of playing Souls-like games, I think that they need to come forward and mention that drastically, by talking about the specific points that people were annoyed and saying that is not the experience that they intended. They inspired themselves on some games in the Souls genre. By that, they created a new experience, okay? And if they do that, it's fine. I mean, Lies of P did it, and I love it. I'm playing Lies of P. Like, every week I play Lies of P. I really enjoy the builds, the way that the story it was built. I love this game so much. But don't forget, a lot of people, a lot of content creators, a lot of YouTubers, streamers, they are complimenting Lords of the Fallen. They are saying that it's a beautiful game, that it's amazing. Some people, they go against this vision of bad combat, and they say that they do indeed love the style of gameplay. They do indeed love the combat style, and I think that is really good for the developers. One thing that we also must be understanding is that every experience to every player is different, you know? There are a lot of games that some players love, and there are a lot of players that some players hate because I don't know, taste is really personal. Like feeling good while you are playing a game is really particular and is really private. Please leave a like if you enjoyed this video, activate the notification bell, and let us talk even further. Okay, well, that's it. Victorious!